and welcome to episode 5 of GIIS SMART webinar series Choices and Voices. Explore, Adapt, Impact. An engaging series where we meet pioneers from edtech industry and our own educators who have invaluable hands-on experience and are involved in shaping the digital citizens of tomorrow. Unlike all other episodes, there's a slight twist. We flipped the roles today, and on this episode we have with us budding entrepreneurs and people who are involved in integrating tech in their daily classes. This is Deepika Sodhi from GIIS SMART Campus, and I'm the host for today's episode, Best Learning and Experiences by Smart Students of Smart Campus. It's time to welcome our guest today. Our first speaker on the episode is Pratyush Bansal. Welcome, Pratyush.
Good morning. My name is Pratyush. I'm an IBR1 student and I have been in the school since nursery. And I've always been interested in all the tech-related competitions our school has organized over these past few years.
Good, Pratyush. Let's later deep dive into seeing how you've integrated and adopted and adjusted to the technology at Smart Campus. Our next speaker on today's show is Ayush Garg. Welcome, Ayush.
Hi, so I'm a class 12 student and I'm the current president of the Tech Club. I'd say I'm a technology enthusiast and an open source advocate.
Welcome, Ayush. We also have Ninad Dikshit.
Hi, I'm Ninad Dikshit from class 11 CBSE, and I am the Deputy Media Digital Communications, and I love technology.
Right. So welcome once again. Thank you for taking out the time today. And with the recent changes that were necessitated upon us by COVID-19, I think there has been a paradigm shift, and future of education is changing fast and will continue to change. And we at GIIS are actually working to strive in digital pedagogy into daily lessons, into daily classes, through blended learning model, through integrating technology. And I think the students of today are the experiencers. They are the people who are experiencing. They are tech enablers. Technology was there, but it is these students who are learning on how to apply that technology, on how to apply that skills in daily lessons. Like David Wallach said, that technology of today is like pen and paper of earlier times. It's that lens which is enabling us to see the world, to view the world. And I'm sure you all will agree with me. I think we feel it's like now oxygen. We can't breathe, we can't live without technology.
It's quite a necessity.
Quite a necessity. Just like we need oxygen, we need technology. With this small device in hand, I think there has been actually a paradigm shift. I'm sure you will agree. So aim of today's session is to deep dive, to look into how our students got adjusted, how they've applied tech, what are the various student initiatives that have been brought into the system through their experiences, and how they've emerged as innovators, risk takers, open-minded students. So here we start with our first question to Pratyush. So Pratyush, do you think the technology at Smart Campus was an enabler for you?
Yes, ma'am. I really feel that the technology over here was very useful, not only in the lessons we have had in school, but also in other fields like extracurriculars and sports. So for example, like I was part of the school soccer team for a while, and over there we used many devices such as so many data analytics devices, so we could track our speed during the entire session, we could track our movements. So so a sports which was earlier, it did not involve much technological components, now has involved tech, and it has made it so much better. We have learned how to improve. So basically, by addition of technology in sports, it has become so much easier, it's become better to adapt, and it's helped us learn so much more.
So yeah, I think data analytics, and you did contribute it a lot on sports. Anything that you have to add, Nina, to besides sports?
Yeah, so this year and the past year, there was, due to COVID, we had online learning. So the technology in school, it allowed us to interact with students who are overseas as well. And people who cannot attend school. So the technology in our school, for example, the smart TVs and the easy access to Zoom from our classes was definitely an advantage for us. So we were able to learn and adapt quickly to this situation.
Perfect. So I think collaboration, right? When you say that you were able to collaborate with other students, probably across boundaries, across geographies, maybe other schools in Singapore or other schools outside Singapore.
Yeah.
So yes, technology did act as an enabler for collaboration. Anything that you experienced, Ayush, which was different from data analytics and sports or collaboration point?
I think the school and its technologies, which are all around, have sort of given me a kickstart. I only came to this school about 2 years ago, but then the technologies I've experienced in this school gave me such a boost, which was like no other. For instance, the radio room which we have in front of us, the confidence which it gave me was unprecedented. Earlier, I had the knowledge, but now I knew how to talk about the knowledge I had and share it with the world. So I have my own podcast series there, which runs, and it has given me a great boost in my outreach as well. Along with that, the tech club. So the school has a lot of facilities which enable the tech club to get an upper hand over other tech clubs and other organizations around the world, and basically make it act like a bigger collaborator. In the tech club, we have sort of took the technologies which we have available in school and honed them to cater to the children's needs.
So, I mean, why do you think technology is a necessity for you to be, I usually use this word, globally smart digital citizen, right?
Yeah.
So how do you, I mean, I would like to hear from you, why do you think it is such a necessity now? What do you feel? Any one of you can go.
Yeah.
Ma'am, okay, so I'd go. Technology has sort of, as you said correctly, changed from an expertise to a necessity. Earlier, it was ABCs that we were learning, but now that ABCs have started incorporating even technologies in them, so even children are starting to learn how to operate devices.
Yeah.
The main reason behind this is how connected to technology we are. You know, even if we don't realize it, technology is all around us. These cameras, the lights, everything is based on technology. And as we move forward into this world of digital entrepreneurship, what we observe is the fields which were earlier traditionally niche, like finance, bio, they have started to incorporate tech. We have fintech, we have biotech. So the students who know technology from a young age, they are able to take action on the experience they've gained. So they take a field which is very niche, like let's say cancer research, they incorporate tech into it, and then it really elevates and accelerates the experience.
I really like the word that you used, which is digital entrepreneurship.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, that's the right word. We come from a time where entrepreneurship in itself was a big word for us. But now, looking at these young students sitting next to me and talking about being digital entrepreneurs speaks volumes. So, Ninad, what would you like to add to what now Ayush shared?
So I think technology is a very great asset to have in oneself. So in the sense that it is used in almost all industries, not just as a necessity, but it's also used to improve the efficiency of every industry. For example, if we take the medical industry, so patients monitoring a patient becomes so easy with those ingestible pills which have sensors, and they flow into your bloodstream, and you can monitor the health. So this is an example of how technology has boosted this industry and this service.
How is it helping you to become a globally smart citizen?
So like as Ninad said, it has helped so much in the medical industry. So basically in school, we have learned to embrace technology. We have learned to grow with technology. So by by getting all these skills, by acquiring all these skills at an early age in school, it will help us so much more in the future, because now it opens a vast amount of industries in which we can learn, we can obviously grow in those industries, we can be a part of those industries, all because of our technological skills. Because now any job you take, it will always, the higher paying jobs will always be technology related, because they require more critical thinking, more analytical thinking. And if we get these skills at an early age, this will certainly help us in the real world.
Right.
And yes, ma'am, as you can see that all the big tech jobs like CEO of Facebook, CEO of Microsoft, all of them are tech geniuses. All of them have, from an early age, they've been building computers and all. So this has really helped them, and
that's why when you see jobs or professions like data scientists, blockchain experts, they are very high paid jobs, because that is the need of today, because the 21st century, it's all tech. So all these jobs, all these high paid jobs are all technology related.
I think these are the jobs probably we had never ever thought about. I mean, I come from a time where just being a doctor or being an engineer was only considered to be good. But I think, yes, like you mentioned, data analytics, data scientists, these are actually new upcoming jobs, and probably by the time you people go to that level in another 5 to 6 years, we'll have couple of more such things added. So yes, it would be impossible to now live without tech. And do you think school is preparing you to acquire those right skills that you need, for in terms of integration of technology? Let's look at 10 years from now. Let's look at 8 years from now, because you will be in the job industry looking out for a career. So do you think you're getting and acquiring those skills?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I do feel. So, for example, like in the Smart Campus, we have had so many new kinds of labs and rooms, like the radio jockey room right here, which Ayush had talked about. So that has helped us, because like we never had such a thing earlier, and there are very few schools actually which have it. And now we have this feature in which like we can have podcasts, we can, and we also learn how to use these devices. We learn how to use the control room, for example, which I think Ayush has used a lot as part of the tech club. So maybe he could talk more about that.
Yeah, sure. So one job which we really needed to address as the tech club, because GIIS is a very initiative-led school. The school can only do so much, but when we see students like all of us coming together to lead initiatives, it really elevates the experience for all of us. Now, as part of the tech club, one of the main things I saw forward was the need of the future. The need of the future is computer vision, machine learning, cryptocurrencies, all these fields which we see as hot terms right now, which we see as niches right now, they're gonna expand over every industry. Basically, he talked about football, data analytics being used in footballs. So now we are seeing two very different fields, sports and data analysis, being combined together. I think it's very crucial for students to know all about the tech. So my job as the tech club and the entire tech club, we try to ease the transition of the students into fields like computer vision, machine learning, AI. I think Ninand attended a computer vision workshop.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a bit about the experience you had there?
Yeah. So we were taught computer vision through Python. So it was actually a workshop which aligned my interests towards Python. So after that workshop was the time when I actually started doing Python. And started exploring different libraries and different projects. So,
and I think you are an ICDL winner also. So, I mean, would you like to elaborate on it?
Right. So,
we would like to tell our audience what ICDL was all about, what that platform was all about. What did you learn? How was your experience? And what school acquired skill set helped you to be that winner on that Asia Pacific Forum?
Yeah. So ICDL Digital Challenge, it was an annual challenge which was conducted all the way up to the Asia Pacific round. And in that, it has been an interesting milestone which I have achieved. And in that process, I got to learn some of the most important and trending topics. For example, artificial intelligence, big data, cloud computing, and even the Internet of Things. So, and I think this learning this at such a young age is actually very beneficial, as first of all, you're learning. What is it like? Your mind is. It has the greatest capability to absorb all the knowledge at such a young age. And getting certifications and this kind of knowledge will definitely help in the future for job applications as well as universities.
I know the experience that has come with this, with this kind of a challenge wherein you compete not at school level, not at national or Singapore level, but you go beyond to Asia Pacific level. So you've made not just yourself and your parents proud, you've made us proud as well, Ninad. So did this all help you, the skills that you had acquired during school, during everyday lessons? I mean, did that play a role, or was that an enabler anywhere in being or acquiring that milestone of yours?
So the school always taught us how to handle technology well, and how we can easily absorb technological information. Like it has opened our minds to technological information. So whatever was given to us, whatever information was given to us, I could easily absorb because of the skills given by the school. So in that sense, the school did help me a lot in that competition.
And of course, this exposure of going through ICDL, which was first of its kind, initiated by GIIS, and many students participated in it. And of course, now it's a legacy. You've set the benchmark as a first student of the campus, and then we will definitely be going ahead with this annual ICDL challenge, and we'll be opening it for our students, because we at GIIS as Smart School believe in creating smart students. Sitting next to me.
And the biggest thank to this, compliment to the school, is that the school introduces to us these kind of competitions, which we have never even thought about. So, like at the start, for me, when I was applying for this, I had no clue about this competition. But when we went through this course, we got to know how good the competition it was and how much we got to learn from it.
So learning comes with every experience. With every experience, I believe, is a learning experience. You know, it brings something to you. It could be a probably, let's say, experience like this is also a learning, right? So everything, and it's a lot of learning for me as well today. Like you mentioned about so much you learned at your during your ICDL journey, or like Ayush mentioned, so many things. I'm aware of the podcast, but what has happened beyond or before podcast, after podcast, and besides podcast is what I got to know today. So I think every experience is a fruitful one.
It is.
How was your experience, Pratyush? You participated in Young Innovators program at IIT Kharagpur. So was it also linked to technology integration, or technology helped you in some way?
Yes, ma'am. So this was an competition organized by IIT Kharagpur. It was in, I think it was for 2 years, for 2018 and 2019.
Okay.
There are many rounds of the competition, and we were fortunate enough to visit the IIT campus in Kharagpur. So me and some of my friends. So this competition was a Young Innovators program, and even though it did not specify that it had to be a tech-related innovation, tech has influenced every field so much. It's almost impossible to think of a new idea, something which will help the world in the future without technology. So almost every idea presented over there was a technology-related one. And personally, we designed a self-watering device which would help water plants at home.
Okay.
So that was one of.
So that was the innovation, your idea, self-watering plant. Wow, that's amazing. Okay.
So we presented that over there, and there were so many other students. At that time, actually, GIIS was the only school which was not from India, which I feel was an amazing opportunity, because we were the first overseas school to be part of that competition.
Wow.
And there were lots of other students, and all from different states of India, and they all addressed so many different problems and so many different fields. So it was really a very good experience, because we could think of there were so many different ways to address the same problem, And of course, because there are people from so many different places, they all have different opinions and different ways to tackle problems, as I said.
I mean, definitely again, smart learning experience that you gained is one thing, but then the school provided opportunity, and then of course, like you mentioned, technology integration, we can't move without it. But if we come back to Ayush, since you've been president of Tech Club, I'm sure a podcast is one area, but besides that also, as a president of Tech Club, you've had couple of your own sharings and experiences, like organizing hackathons or boot camps, like AI boot camps for for juniors, middle school, secondary school. So how has that journey been? How many people you think have benefited by participating in these appnovation like events or hackathons?
Right. So hackathons itself, I have great respect for events like those. For the listeners who don't know what hackathons are, they're basically 24-hour to 48-hour events where you sit down, you think of an idea, you implement that idea, and then you showcase the idea. So the whole process of creating a product gets portrayed in a very small amount of time. I've been a continuous participator in hackathon myself. So the passion for hackathon started first as a participator. Me and my friends, even from school, we took part in multiple collegiate hackathons and even won some of them. And basically hackathons filled me for a passion of technology. They filled me with a need to do more. Now I took the experience which I learned from those hackathons and then shifted it to mentoring and giving back that experience to others. Because the thing is, hackathons, appnovations, boot camps, all of these are community-led events. You learn something from the community and then you give back what you learned to the community. So it's a process of incremental knowledge upgrade.
Oh, awesome. And giving back, right? It's like, as you said, giving back, and then, for example, training the students approach also. I mean, mentoring them, preparing them, and of course, this whole idea of what you mentioned, thinking, initiating the idea, preparing for it and implementing it within a span of 24 to 48 hours definitely is an experience in itself.
Even I was a part of his
hackathon.
And the best part about it is not the product which you create. You know, product is the ending, but rather the journey which you experience. You meet a lot of new people with a lot of new ideas. I remember meeting a professor, Dr. Peter Murray-Rust, at one of these hackathons. And the connection we built there has continued till date. We have been building products together. So in hackathons and appnovations, the skills which GIIS provided me, basically the skills of how to interact, how to implement, how to learn on the go, these skills helped me build connections which will last now a lifetime. That I took hackathons not just as competitions, but rather as learning experiences. And now as the Tech Club, we've sort of try to replicate that for all the students. So we've built the GIIS hackathon, which all the students take part in, multiple students.
I think the hackathon is now a very, very common and pre-loved platform by all universities also. So I think, yes, with the exposure and experience that you all and other students are gaining in the school, it's definitely going to help them at university level when it comes to competing and preparing, and then I think beyond, because once you enter the job market and you work for companies, these ideas and initiatives definitely play a role. So I think we are actually at the, I always say we are at the center of a raging tornado, this tornado of technology. Every day we think of something that's new, something that is emerging. Correct. And it's not about just involving or transcending technology, but it's like kind of beautifully accepting it and moving along with it. And I think, I mean, as you people share, we at GIIS are trying to transcend it in a very positive and beautiful way and transitioning towards the curve, where we need to, which is like an exponential growth curve, I say. But I think coming back to you, Ninad, you did mention that you were also heading a club. Would you like to share something on that? I mean, is technology playing a role in that club as well?
Right. So my position is the secretary of the GIIS Creators Club. So that is based on 4 fundamental principles, which is STEM basically, which is science, technology, engineering, and maths.
Okay.
Right. So technology plays a vital role, as in like science is nowhere without technology as such, right? So because the advancements in science have only become are being possible because of advancements in technology. So all of our science projects involve technology. So we actually have a 3D printer, we have 3D printing competitions. So this is all related to technology, and we are trying to like involve different skills and mix it with technology to create new ideas.
And how about design and technology lab? Any one of you have had experience, or your friends have shared any experiences?
We took great use of the design lab. So for listeners, design lab is a place where we have all the tools we basically can think of to create solutions. Now, what we used the design lab was for creating infomercials and graphics for the hackathon. So all the graphics for the tech club were designed in the design lab. And not only did we learn and create good designs, we actually got to know how to operate those equipments.
Right. Yeah. So I think not just that. I mean, I've had a set of students who kind of participated with GIIS Singapore, and they created their own 3D toothbrush in the design and technology lab, and they sold it right in the school, and I think they ran out of the stock, so again ordered another set of and they made actually the toothbrushes through that laser printer, 3D printing machine. And I'm amazed to see, sometimes I feel that you people are so lucky and privileged to have all this, you know, you come in a time when we have all this. Probably this was never imagined. I mean, I actually went to the lab one day to see how a 3D printer works, because I wanted to kind of have a know-how of, does it actually come out as a 3D thing? And I saw, I mean, I believed it when I saw that toothbrush being printed in front of my own eyes. So amazing, and it was all being done by students. So technology integration, I think, is at the heart and at the core. Any one of you has experience with robotic club or something?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, I participated in the robotics boot camps which we had in school.
Okay.
So over the June holidays, there are lots of boot camps. There's Stitch, which I was also part of in, I think, 7th grade. And there was also this robotics boot camp, which was, I think, it included Lego Mindstorms. So that was the platform which we used to design all these robots. So it was like a very enriching experience. That along with Stitch, they were like, so basically you need to think of a problem which you want to solve, and then use all these robotics related components. Like we used Arduino boards, sensors and all to design different products which would help a person. So I feel that was a really enriching experience for me. And since I did it long ago in like 7th grade. So I feel that in fact helped me, that made me interested in technology and inspired me to do all the other competitions I've gone for after that. So it all started with these robotics boot camps in school.
So so robotics, AI, digital entrepreneurships, hackathons, apps, app making, and to name a few, I think like real world challenges convention that we soon are going to have. I think even that has played, I mean, has incorporated technology, and of course the skills that students are acquiring with that incorporation of technology is going to be great. That's, I mean, I agree. And you were also saying something.
Yes, ma'am. I was saying, ma'am, you had mentioned AI. So basically, I wasn't part of the AI bootcamp with the Tech Club had organized, but I think our school had CCAs, extra CCAs after school for a while, in which we had an AI workshop, which was, I think, organized by Wisely Wise, a new AI company. So like, I feel now in this generation, AI has already become such a big thing. So AI is now the new electricity, because it's 5th generation computers, and now so many more problems are starting to be solved with AI. You can see in our school we have face recognition that also uses AI. So now, like, there's technology and there's also AI, which is now it's currently at a very small stage, but it is also slowly growing bigger, and our school has helped a lot in that
Yeah,
as
so,
well.
and I think I would like to add, since you mentioned about face recognition, which now captures your attendance,
Yes, ma'am.
captures so AI, and then I mean, not to forget the fact that we have introduced GIIS online e-exam portal, which is also
Yes.
AI
Yeah.
proctored. I'm
Yeah,
sure you would have
yeah.
experienced
Yes.
it.
Yes.
So anybody would like to share your experience with, when people across the globe were under HBL, lockdowns, intermittent periods of school open and virtual, I think our students were preparing for the exams and actually sitting and writing exams online, which
Yes,
were
ma'am.
proctored through AI.
Yes, ma'am.
So-
I do have a few friends in India
Yeah.
who, like, they're unable to come back to Singapore, or a few scholars who are still living in India and they're unable to come back here. So they have been able to firstly learn. They've been able to learn through Zoom classes online.
Yes.
And they've been able to learn very well. It's become such an easy tool to use because there are cameras everywhere. You can hear everything properly. It's almost like being in a classroom. And at the same time, they can also take their exams online, as you mentioned, through that portal. So it's almost a foolproof way, because there's proctoring done through the AI. There's no way to cheat, and it's like a proper exam setting which you can take your exam in.
So it's like, yeah, irrespective of, like you very rightly said, the classrooms are like as if you're actually in a physical
Yes,
space.
ma'am.
I mean, even if you are at home, the way teaching is done with the inbuilt Zoom camera, with the class camera, I think it's actually like
very
being
easy
in a
to
physical.
I mean, for the greater part of class 11th, I was that scholar who was living in India and experiencing the classes through my laptop. And one thing which really captured my attention was, as ma'am said, how connected both of the things are. Hybrid learning, GIIS has taken it one step forward. We have cameras in every classroom, and even the exam taking experience is the same as if it were in real life.
Yeah. The moment you try to even switch off the window,
Yeah.
change the window, there's no way you can cheat. There's no way you can, you have a scope to kind of fiddle with
Yeah.
something. The moment you do, system gives you an alert, and after 3 warnings, you're thrown out of the exam.
I actually looked beneath the system of the AI, and I was really fascinated, because it wasn't just the screen sharing which it was using. The AI proctoring system was actually multidisciplinary. So it took the camera, it took the microphone, it took the behavior of the students. So let's say they are writing, their hand movement switches. So the AI learns all of this, and then if it recognizes a difference, it sees, oh, something fishy is happening. So it's a very smart system which has been employed by the
Correct.
school.
So I think very few schools, I know couple of people back in India, they all mentioned that the only way they were trying to cover up during assessments or do something was through that conventional Google Forms. But I think we moved much like step ahead. AI, again, this is an exposure for students, isn't it? I mean, the skill, where I heard that NTU went into, universities like NTU, NUS went into online exams with proctoring. We at GIIS, as a pioneer school, adopted that system and ensured our students do not falter at any way. Or we also ensured that there's no lack of single instructional hour.
Yes, ma'am.
In terms of, on account of COVID, on account of
yes,
pandemic, that was beyond
Yeah.
us, I think. Yeah, I think probably, fortunately or unfortunately, pandemic has been a booster
Yes, ma'am.
for integrating technology,
Yes.
but I think some things happen for the best.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this was probably for the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the positive change of technology which is coming forward after this pandemic ends, like everything's almost moving towards Zoom or hybrid, which Ayush said. So it's going to be taken by the students outside GIIS in a very steep curve. But then
Yeah.
for students in GIIS, it's going to be a very subtle change.
Very good.
Because the technology which is used in the school, the students will easily get hands-on with this technology. So after the pandemic ends, still the students in GIIS will be able to handle technology well, like they did in the 2 years.
I agree. I think this is this was an exponential growth curve in terms of integration of technology, and I think our students have grown exponentially. Like you said, that for all of you now, when we go beyond school, it will stay a smooth curve for you without the slope. So I totally agree. I mean, we've transcended it beautifully, I would rather say. And I think this actually tells us what we spoke about earlier in our model, that we believe in SMAR model of integrating technology, like where we were initially doing substitution of something, then we moved to modification, then augmentation, and now finally redefinition. And you know, it gives us immense pleasure, I mean, to us as educators, to us as teachers, to see our own students redefining education. You all are actually redefining education, and you're not just being, as I always say, being thinkers, being creative, being knowledgeable, being innovators. And I think with this comes lot of risk taking, open-mindedness, reflectivity, isn't it? And then being principled, like let's say if you're giving AI exam, this is setting your tone for life, academic honesty, academic integrity. So I think that's nice. And do you feel that you are in alignment with our school theme, RISE, where we say that, you know, we try to make our students rise as leaders of tomorrow, students who show respect, who have integrity, who have skill acquisition, who've acquired skills, and who are empathetic. So I want to hear, before we end today's session, how much do you think, you know, we are living by our motto, rise as leaders of tomorrow?
I think before this technological curve rise, so the students were trying to solve these social problems, or being empathetic, as the RISE theme says. They're trying to solve these problems by hand or by physically being there. But right now, with the increase in technology, the students have came up with solutions which are so easy to implement, and using modern day technology, these overcoming these social problems will be very easy. So these students, like the Appnovation competition in the RWCC, we have to address a social problem, and we have to create an app based on it, and how it can overcome. So these are such competitions which the school introduces us to us, so we can integrate technology as well as this RISE theme.
RISE theme. So acquiring skill. What do you feel, Ayush?
So I very much agree with what Nanan said. I'd like to add to it, because what the school is doing, it's taking students and making them into leaders. You know, what we see in GIIS is a lot of, as I said, student initiatives, all the clubs and organizations. The school gives us the platform to initiate them. Now, when we are initiating them, when we are taking interviews, when we are building a team, the leadership skills naturally come to us. And when we are doing these things like podcasts, like webinars, like shooting, we have an entire AV team which we cooperate with, which we collaborate with. They're making us ready for the future. Now, as futures, as entrepreneurs, when we'll be giving interviews, we already have the skill set which is required.
So skill set with not just, I mean, when we say rise as leaders of tomorrow, you're actually moving ahead that curve, or moving along that ladder of rising, acquiring respect. When you said you work so closely with AV team, it's how you deal with them, it's how you interact with them, and it's how you operate those instruments. And how, you know, you've built a strong connection with the team, I mean, who also probably feels happy and privileged because they're giving back to society when they give back to you.
And it's not only that, the leadership skills which we acquire, it actually addresses the E in RISE, which is empathy. So all the, basically, whatever the main focus of the club should be, it should be to address a social issue. Now, Niland is part of the Creators Club, and I was part of the Creators Club when I was in 11th. The major issue which we were solving, like side by side, we were developing leadership skills, but we were also solving a social issue of incorporating STEM into our daily lives and having an impact through it.
True.
So I think, yes, so that means it is you are living by the theme, basically.
We're living by the theme. We're learning empathy, we're implementing it, and then we're rising as leaders with all the skills which GIIS owns as well.
Good. And Pratish, how about you?
Yes, ma'am. I really feel that the school, like all the school gives us many tools, like many platforms for us to do better. But it's the students who are given this opportunity to do it themselves also. So for example, in the student council, I'm the deputy head boy over there, and we organized the Teachers' Day along with Nad also recently. So that helped us, that trained us like in many skills. Like we learned to organize a competition, we learned, and we were giving back to teachers who have helped us for so long. So I feel this teaches us, as Ayu said, it teaches us empathy, because we are giving back to people who have helped us. So the same thing applies for the community. So for example, the Interact Club, what the Interact Club does is they organize lots of events. Recently, I think they organized a migrant workers event in which they gave cards, they donated some snacks and food for them. So I feel this is very helpful because it is giving back to people who have helped, who have actually built Singapore. So I feel this is a very good opportunity. Because
So the exposure that you get through various community-led events, like technology integration, working with people, interviewing people, organizing events, and yes, as you all agree and as Ayush has repeatedly mentioned, student-led initiatives is what we strongly believe in, you know, because as I already said, you people are innovators, you people are inquirers, and you are open-minded. So and this has been the philosophy of GIIS, that when any student approaches with an idea, it is never come back. In fact, the endeavor is to give that platform to the student, to give that opportunity, to give that pedestal to go and implement. I mean, that's the beauty of GIIS, and I'm sure you'll agree that this is under leadership of Melissa ma'am, that, you know, I mean, she's ensured that no student is left behind and no idea is left behind.
Yes, ma'am. In fact, ma'am, there's this competition some of us recently participated in, organized by IIM Calcutta. So we designed an app to help university students. So now this competition is over, but the teachers Lakshmi ma'am and Lata ma'am, they have continued to work with us, and they are trying to bring it out, like actually publish this app in the real world. So this is a small idea which started in a competition, but even after that, teachers are helping us bring it out and actually do something with it.
Yeah, it's so nice to see working with IITs, IIMs, NUS, NTU. You were saying something, Ayush?
I mean, if we're talking about community and empathy, I think it's very important to talk about World Vision as well, which I think is one of the most important initiatives led by GIIS. It's basically helping us as the students to give back to whomever we can. So we're helping underprivileged students study, and we're providing them skills which try to bring us all together forward. So the philosophy of GIIS is not to hone single leaders, is to take everyone together and build them as leaders in a group. So we're doing community learning. We're not just individually making people perfect. We're helping people. We're making people make other people perfect as well.
Yes.
So
I think World Vision is a great example of how we have used technology to help other people.
Technology integration, I think, made it possible.
Because they are in India, and we are teaching from here, from Singapore, through Zoom.
And it takes a lot of dedication from your end, and it's amazing to see. But then teaching those underprivileged students, and thanks to this technology integration, and you are giving back to society at the same time. That's the best part of it, right? So any message that you would like to give to your juniors, what you think is your mantra?
So I would say that whatever opportunities you get to do better, to any competitions which you feel that maybe you can take part in, go for it, because it will be a huge learning opportunity. It will help you so much, not only in your university, it will help you in your life, in your entire life, in your jobs, it will help you in your personal life, social life, because all these skills which you're going to gain in school are going to stay with you forever. And it is very important to take them up at a young age. When we
Nicely put. So that every experience is a learning opportunity.
So what I think is that the only thing that divides between traditional forms of technology and emerging forms of technology is the way you think. It's the innovation that you put in that makes different forms of technology emerging. So my message is that don't stop thinking innovative, think outside the box, and that's it.
One thing which I really took from Ninad, was think outside the box. I think that is what the world wants. We saw innovations come up. So at first, in the beginning, a refrigerator was the size of a room. Innovation brought it down to something which can fit in our kitchens. That innovation should continue. It shouldn't stop. And as Pratyush said, learning is one of the main things which should never stop in life. You know, we look at all these initiatives, the biggest thing you can get from them is learning.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, learn how to learn and learn how to teach so that you can bring all of the people together forward.
Yeah, very beautifully put. I think learn how to learn and learn how to teach. I think everybody, irrespective of the age barrier, needs it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So thank you, and that was a very wonderfully put thing. And I also have a mantra that I would like to share, and I always believe that it's 4 P's: push, passion, persistence, and perseverance that leads to S, success.
Correct.
So it comes, I mean, S, success. So you apply these 4 P's and success will follow. And these 4 P's, push, passion, persistence, perseverance, you can apply with technology, while integrating technology, while transcending technology.
True.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with this discussion and our messages for our viewers, we come to an end of today's episode, episode 5 of GIIS SMART webinar series, wherein our students shared their experiences, their learning that they've got and are now actually becoming smart students. Thank you so much, viewers, for joining us today. Thank you to you, Pratyush, for joining us on our show. Thank you, Ayush, so much for sharing your invaluable insights. And thank you, Ninad, for sharing your details with us. Do look out for our next episode, wherein we'll talk to our Smart Campus principal, Miss Melissa Maria, to discuss how students are actually being engaged, how we at GIIS are involved in creating these young innovators like the 3 examples sitting next to me. Till then, have a great day and bye-bye.